You're listening to BSI with Benny Philhauer, Offseason, and Iko Para. Enjoy!
Season 2, the last and final season.
Ike, don't scare these people.
Now that there's an opening at your real estate firm, you think there's any chance you can reach out to them so I can get a job?
I'll let them know.
Welcome back to BSI, the podcast, and we got an I in there now. Congratulations, Ike. You got your initial on the podcast. You are for real now.
Yeah, come on, guys. I mean, this is by far my biggest accomplishment of 2019. Yeah. So, thank you, guys.
I think it's my only accomplishment of 2019. Yeah, no, it's definitely the I in the BSI. Although we should have switched the letters around, but that's just my personal opinion. Yeah, most people wanted the IBS, so I don't know. People like irritable bowel syndrome and diarrhea, so
maybe Nino can make a little T-shirt with IBS on it or something.
Anyways, we're dropping a bonus episode here today. We haven't any guest on tap, but we'll probably start doing that towards the beginning of the season, end of February, beginning of March. But we thought we'd throw one up here and talk about how everybody's offseason has gone, talk a little bit about MLS, silly season, as people like to say. I'm sure there's been some silly things in Minnesota with you, Ike. And why don't we get started? Just, Ike, you tell us what's going on with you, man. What any funny stories that you'd like to share and tell our audience?
Well, so almost coming up to a year to when I was traded, which is kind of wild. And it made me think about just how wild my year was. And I remember the craziest thing about last year actually was, so growing up, I was known to maybe moon the school bus in elementary school nonstop. And yeah, listen, just follow me here. So I got suspended off the bus. I got snitched on. My mom, for the next 25 years of my life, made it a point to embarrass me with that story in front of all new guests, kind of thing. I'm at
how old did it go till? When was this?
It's it still currently happens. I'm not kidding. And so this is the wild thing about it. I'm with my wife. We're at a gala for Teach for America event because she's in education, and we see these three girls, and they're trying to take a picture. And my wife goes over and says, "Can I take a picture for you?" And she's like, yeah. And this one girl keeps staring at me. And I'm like, this is a little awkward. And then she looks at me finally and goes, "Are you from North Carolina?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "From Durham?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "We rode the school bus together." And right then is when it all clicked that she was the one that snitched on me.
Oh, man.
I thought she was about to tell you, turn around and drop your pants. Let me make sure it's you.
But whatever, man. I just thought it was wild. 25 years, whatever, later, I see this girl in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the story that my mom tells to this day came literally as full circle as it could have.
Oh, wow. Man.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So that was my recap of the year. But man, Minnesota's been good. It's been a little cold, but it's expected.
Just a little bit.
How's my boy Tyler Miller doing there? First few days he's been there.
He's doing well. He's getting used to it. He had to change his wardrobe completely. He went in. He came in with a new little fur coat or whatever, and I said, "Yeah." I had to do the same exact thing you did. Buy a coat on the way to the airport before I landed.
Yeah, dude, SoCal to Minnesota. That's a big change.
That's depressing lifestyle. Is what that is.
Oh, come on, Sal. Dude, no. Says the San Diego boy. You got bullied out of retirement.
Dude, it was tough today. It was 75. It was crazy.
Yeah, what were you guys doing? Running?
No.
No preseason running with Landon?
No. Not even beep test.
No beep, no yo-yo?
Any testing, no, nothing. I mean, that's already an A+ in my book.
You guys just turning into a solid team?
Yeah, well, let's give a little recap, obviously. So, basically, Ike and Benny bullied me enough to get out of real estate in Las Vegas. So, no, in all seriousness, Landon had reached out a few months ago and just let me know that there was a team starting up in San Diego. At the time, he wasn't sure if it was going to be in 2020 or 2021, but basically I was on board when he mentioned it. And so it was just a matter of time. So yeah, and luckily we were able to start in 2020, and I'm pumped, and I'm happy to be back home in San Diego, where I'm from originally. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be a good year. We just went through our first, 3-4 days of preseason now. Hips are very sore because they are not used to the cutting anymore.
That's what I was going to ask you, dude. A year off, how does it feel coming back?
A year? No, it's been like a year and a half because I injured my knee right in my last year. So yeah, it's been a long time. My toes are feeling it, like from the cleats, just like every little thing that like soccer players kind of, halfway go through in the off season is just like exemplified right now because it's been even longer. So, like blisters, things like that. But no, it's been good. Feeling good. We're going to be playing a really fun style that I'm pretty used to. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
What's going on? Playing a little 3-5-2 or something? Back UCLA days? What's going on here?
We could be doing a 3-5-2. I think we're going to try and surprise a lot of teams. So, but I will say that the talent level, honestly, and this is, obviously I've been away for a little bit, but the speed has been really good. Like in training and stuff, a lot of the guys are flying. I mean, it feels like how an MLS preseason's going. So it's been pretty cool.
Has Lennon stepped in and like showed you guys how to do things correctly? Yelled at you for sucking?
To be honest, I think he's still kind of. I mean, he's sitting and like a little bit observing, like kind of how training's going to be run and stuff. We have a coach on the team, like one of the assistant coach named Nate, who was actually the head coach at Lansing last year, who folded in the USL League One. And so he's here and he's kind of like, running the trainings, and Landon's obviously coming in with his 2 cents and whatnot. But, he's obviously never coached before and ran sessions. So he's kind of like learning the process.
Nice. Is he going to play as well or no?
No, he's not going to play. I think he's pretty.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I will say this. There isn't a number 10 on the team, and it's been saved. I don't know for what.
75th minute, he's gonna sub himself into the game. You watch.
It's his 5th comeback now.
We'll see.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. So now that there's an opening at your real estate firm, you think there's any chance you can reach out to them so I can get a job? I'll let them know. I mean, they love professional athletes. Is your house still available?
No, it's actually currently going to be closing in the next couple weeks. So.
Well, congratulations, dude. Everything's working out for you, huh?
Hey, it is.
We need to start a GoFundMe for Benny because currently unemployed and he's living in Diego's house and he can't pay Diego's rent in Kansas City right now.
I told Diego today that as an unemployed person, I will no longer be paying his rent, so he's going to have to evict me.
Just squatting in his house. You're just going to be a squatter now. I don't know how the rental laws are in Kansas City, but
so I got to ask you, dude, how long from the time that you kind of stopped playing soccer until the time that you actually got your job as a real estate, how long was that? Like you were in the mode of kind of waiting around and seeing what was going to happen.
Yeah. So in that last year, there were a few teams that were interested. I had a bit of an injury history, so I was trying to kind of work around that and see if I was fit. Had a little bit of a meniscus problem. So, and regardless of all that, so I was waiting around probably until I would say around now. I would say probably right around when preseason started. And then I just kind of decided right then and there, like, to just like stop trying to pursue playing.
And it was more because of the injuries or because of teams
it was a little
really
bit of both. I mean, I think I was ready to kind of settle down with the family and not like keep jumping from like team to team, like anywhere in the country.
Right. So that was what, about 3-4 months then from the end of the season, the year prior to the beginning of preseason, like 3 months maybe?
Yeah, probably 3 months. And then from there, then I spent another couple months like debating on, what to do. We made the decision to move to Vegas pretty quickly, but we just, kind of decided. Yeah.
But at least at that point, that you're done with soccer and you're kind of trying to figure out what's next, right?
Yeah.
I feel like mentally,
yeah.
I'm trying to compare it to where I'm at right now, right? Because I played last year. I want to play still for one more year, but it's like we've talked about, the free agency in MLS is it's nothing short of a nightmare, right?
No, it sucks.
I mean, the way the rules are, every single other person is looked at first, whether it's re-entry draft 1, re-entry draft 2, super draft, players from overseas through all of the transfer windows. And it seems like other than maybe you can handpick a few free agents that went early. So like Sasha, our good friend Sash, he went to Galaxy. But I mean, I think he knew that was going to happen 5 months left into the season last year. Do you know what I mean? Like he knew that Galaxy wanted him, and that was probably the place that he was going to end up. So it wasn't something that kind of came out of nothing in the offseason. So for most guys, I mean, you have myself in there, but you have guys like Stephen Beitashour.
Probably
guys
90%
like
of the rest of them.
Justin Miram.
Yeah.
I don't have like a list in front of you, but like guys that have played well in this league for long stretches, and they don't have teams. And so everybody kind of waits. And now with this year, it's even crazier because of the CBA. So teams are just waiting around to see what is actually going to be available, what the salary cap situation is going to be, what TAM, GAM, YAM they have, and all that kind of stuff. And so,
Yams. Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, they kind of wait on free agents till the end. And so, if I'm a guy in a position that I was last year, I knew for a fact that I was going to keep playing. So it was a little bit easier mentally, like waiting it out. And I still had to wait last year until I think it was January 11th that I ended up signing. But this year, with my thought being, okay, I want to play for another year, but I could see myself not if nothing, falls into my lap. It's so frustrating because you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. You don't know if the situation is going to be right. And you're also you're not doing anything. If I just decided, okay, that's it, I'm not going to wait any longer and I'm going to move on with whatever's next, that's one thing. But just kind of waiting around is the unbearable part for me.
Especially when you have like a family with kids and, obviously you have expenses to pay. You're like, okay, well, I don't want to just keep going through my savings like every month. It's tough to figure out. I actually went through probably the exact process you're going through now, right before I went to Atlanta. I think I looked recently at the date, but I had done my physical there on the 31st. So I think they were like a week into preseason when I signed there.
January 31st.
Yeah, January 31st. So they were like a week in. But yeah, dude, honestly, it came really quick. I mean, I'm sure you've heard several teams that were like interested and they're waiting on this, they're waiting on that. They kind of just give you the roundabout. I would just try and stay patient. I mean, hopefully something pops up. It usually does at the end. People get hurt in preseason. They need to fill the teams pretty quickly. Obviously the international transfer window is going to end in January. So you never know.
No, yeah. I just think it's something that I think fans that listen to this, maybe some of them think about it, maybe some of them don't, but I know that it would be interesting for people to know because it's like we said, a lot of things go unspoken, and there's definite things that, you talk about you're unemployed, essentially, you're making no salary. There's other things that for me are even bigger issues right now. You don't get your health insurance. Yeah. You don't have health insurance. MLS won't cover your health insurance. I mean, you have to pay it yourself on the side. If you end up re-signing, then they pay you back.
It's expensive. It's a couple grand a month.
I mean, everybody knows how expensive health insurance is. And the other thing is more the mental aspect of it. The mental aspect for me, I don't know if most guys are as like uptight as I am in terms of like being productive, but man, the mental aspect of just not having something that you are responsible to do is just the worst part for me.
Yeah. Have you just been like texting your agent every other day, like, hey, anything? Hey, anything? Hey,
no, I mean, I've tried to be patient in that sense, but it's that was another. So I was doing my own stuff. So I was doing my own stuff. I sent emails out to various teams and talked to them, or reached out to them, and not a lot of them got back to me, which was extremely surprising. Maybe half or
no
maybe
respect, man. No respect.
I just feel like that's,
U.S. soccer
it doesn't
legend.
it doesn't have to do with respect. It has to do, that's their job, right? It's their job to be to say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in you, or no, I'm not interested in you, whether it's one way or another. But so it's been frustrating, man. But yeah, I got my agent working back on it now, and we'll see if anything comes about. But it has been a process, man, and it's all about being patient. But it's hard. Yeah. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, especially like you said, when you have a family. Dear Lord. So
Yeah, and on top of that, Sal, I know your youngest is how old now too?
1.5.
1.5. Oh man, being in the house the whole day with he's 10 and a half. He's almost 11 months now. Oh my God.
Hey.
Oh, we got another Grella here. What's going on
Dude.
here? You can't take it anymore.
No, I cannot.
It's hard. It really, you have
It
to
is
have
so
some type of patience about you. And
I'm telling you, most guys don't have it. Most
No.
guys, that's why a mom is a mom and a dad is a dad. It is, dude. What I feel bad for my wife because she has to put up with the 3 kids and me now.
and you're the worst one of the 3, probably.
Dude, when I get in a mood because of Luca won't stop crying or won't stop complaining, or you don't even know what the hell he wants. It's just like my mind's like exploding. Whereas you look at Michelle and she's just like cool as a cucumber over there. Oh yeah, this is normal. What?
and then they drop stuff like, well, see what I have to do every day.
Yeah, she's right though.
I hope she rolls around in that. I hope.
Yeah,
bro, she wants me out of the house.
And
I'm like, I want to be out of the house too, but it's freezing and it's snowing and there's nothing to do.
I text Benny every day, and every day he sends me a text about how much more depressing his day is. I'm actually a little genuinely worried for him. It's
tough,
one day this, the next day he's sick, then the next day his birthday gets canceled by the restaurant without him telling him. And I'm like, what is going on?
That's true. That's true.
When it's bad, it's bad.
I've been telling Ike, obviously, I update him with, no team. I haven't heard from this team or that team, and this is depressing, and I just want to play, or I don't want to play, or I want to retire or not retire, and yada, yada, yada. And then my birthday's coming up, so I'm like, all right, dude, let's just forget about everything. Let's have a good day. I'm going out with a couple of friends that, not like
34
neighbors.
or 35?
35. And let's go to my favorite restaurant. Let's go eat, blah, blah, blah. The day that, this was going to be the 2 days before my birthday. So the 17th, my birthday was the 19th. And so we're going out to dinner and going to do some activities. And it's an ice storm on my birthday. There's just, everything is iced over. So we had a reservation at 7:00 or something like that for the restaurant. They call up and say, hey, we're not opening today because of this ice storm. So sorry about that. Enjoy your birthday somewhere else. So there goes that. I had to go eat somewhere else, which ended up being fine. But then on my birthday, on the 19th, I actually got sick. I don't know if it was the food or just like one of those like 1 day bugs, like whatever. But I was sick on the 19th. Luca was sick on the 19th. Michelle was sick on the 19th. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that's usually that's like the fun part, right? When one of them gets sick, you're just waiting for it to get to you, and it's just gonna ruin your next week,
Yeah, or my whole year.
Yeah,
but yeah, other than that, it's been a good off season.
Other than everything.
Oh God.
Man, I think I'm gonna take a year off and then come back and play for the Loyals, bro.
Hey.
Are you guys called the Loyals? What are you guys called?
San Diego Loyal. So we're not the Royals like Kansas City. We're the Loyal. No, we're loyal. Loyal to the soil.
Oh God. So like if you're around town, you go, I play for the Loyal though, or like I play for like
San Diego Loyal probably. That's what I would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
your
good little following. It's been
is your guys' pump up song that one song?
The Dom Dwyer song "Every Day in the Locker Room" in 2014. Yeah, that song.
You know what song we're talking about?
I don't know what song we're talking about.
Yeah, you do. Come on.
If I heard it, I probably know it.
I just sang it.
I don't know what you just sang. It sounded like 50 songs in one.
It was like this.
These blanks aren't loyal.
What did it sound?
Drake? Isn't it Drake? Who sings that song? Drake?
I
don't know who sings it, dude.
Ike, who sings that song? Do you know?
I don't know. Just ask the black guy who sings the rap song. I don't know. Like, what is this?
I would have guessed Ike would have known it, to be honest. I really thought Ike would have known it.
It's just been so long ago. I don't know.
Anyways, hey, what was I gonna ask you? Oh God, I was gonna ask you guys about this. Now just kind of moving away from us, but off season, like all these guys that are coming into the league, and Chicharito just signed. Did you guys see this like video clip of his him telling his parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you saw the part about he said whatever, retiring.
Yeah.
Whatever he said. I saw what he said, and I want your 2 cents on what like it meant. Like, what do you think it meant to him? Like, what was he feeling? Because I have my opinion, and obviously everybody blows it up on social media. But
yeah. So
it means,
go ahead.
Means what we all think. Like, well, we're playing this game to retire. Like, obviously he's not playing in the top league in the world anymore, and so you transition into a different life for sure. I mean, MLS is up and coming and all the things that we want to accomplish, but we're not there yet. And so, Chicharito admitting that, this is the start of a new adventure. Yeah, he's segueing into retirement eventually. Like, It doesn't mean he's retiring, he's collecting paychecks and he'll be gone in a year or two. It just means it's a different stage of your life. And you're obviously not playing in Champions League anymore. You'll be playing in CCL, getting slapped by Monterrey, just like the rest of us.
So I kind of agree. Yeah, I'll you want to go first, Sal?
So could he have used a different like choice of words? Yeah, but at the same time, he's talking to his parents. He's being authentic. So I mean, it's a chapter closing. I mean, you can't compare that the MLS is on the same level as a lot of the European leagues yet. But I've used similar words around me playing in the USL, for example. Like I have no ambition to play in the MLS anymore. You know what I mean? Like I've stated that I would literally probably only play here out of anywhere. So, if I called my parents and had some, heartfelt speech about, hey, I'm going to like, take my game to like San Diego and just like make it, it's different, right? Cause it's, you still feel like the MLS is very good compared to the European league. So it's tough to compare the two, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree a lot with both what you guys said, and what you said about ambition is for me the exact thing that I thought of when he was talking about that, because I know Ike didn't play in Europe, but we both did. Yeah. And the decision that goes into leaving Europe is one where it kind of feels like, I mean, I won't say you're giving up on something.
Yeah.
But the point of going to Europe is that the ceiling is infinitely high there, right?
Yeah.
And Chicharito is a player that's higher than any of us have ever been, but he wanted to be a superstar. I mean, that's what it seemed like to me. Like he really wanted to be a world superstar in Europe and be one of the top players in the world. And he never was able to fully accomplish that. I mean, he played in some really big clubs, but he was never the guy at any of those clubs. And I feel like he felt like he could have been. And so it almost seems like he's like, all right, well, that dream I wasn't able to fulfill. Yeah. To us, it doesn't seem like much because, man, I mean, he did a lot of stuff, stuff that we weren't able to do. So, but for him, I get it. I feel like he's saying, I'm kind of saying closing, this part of my career up. And it is to some extent disappointing for him. He shows that he's emotional about it and he's like, kind of sad, to leave.
Right.
But the same thing that Ike said, I think, he's going to be excited about coming to the Galaxy to win championships here.
He's going to play hard.
And he's going to play well.
Absolutely.
He's going to play well. I have no doubt that he'll do well for LA. I think he's going to be a really big pickup for them, but that's what it seemed like to me. He was disappointed that he wasn't able to accomplish whatever he felt like he could have in Europe.
Yeah. And realistically also, like, once you make that decision to kind of not give up, but go to the different chapter in your career, I mean, you don't really, it's very rare, and you don't really see players at that age then going back to a top level
And
club.
he says that in his talk with his parents. He says that too. He's like, look, anything can happen in soccer, but I mean, like, this is, what I'm doing, and this is where it's leading me, and that's what he's saying. I think it's kind of like he's retiring from the ambition part of his career. Coming to MLS, he's going to have other ambitions to win a trophy, to score maybe the most goals. Maybe he wants to break Carlos's record, but it's different. I think
realistically, it's the word retirement, right? I mean, maybe it's a little bit lost in translation, but it's just that word. Like, I would never say I call my parents and say, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to go play in San Diego for the Loyal. Like, that just doesn't, make sense to an American. So that's never the right words to say, but for him, I think he just means like the chapter of trying to be that best player in the world is ending, basically.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
I think we're all in like pretty close agreement.
So who scores more goals between him and SKC striker Polito? Is it Polito?
SKC
right?
striker. I thought you were going to say Carlos.
They're going to say
No,
a
Carlos
million
is-
different names than
I
him.
feel like, yeah, well,
Chicharito or Polito?
Well, yeah, well, they're both new, so that's why I'm going.
I think
with,
Chicharito will score more than Polito.
You think so?
Who do you think just scores the most goals in the MLS?
I think Chicharito has a chance.
Yeah. Out of Joseph, Vela,
Joseph's
and-
lost
Julian
Miguel last year and Gressel this year. I don't know who's going to be assisting him.
and Darlington.
and
I want to
Nagy.
know what you guys.
Darlington
I mean,
doesn't
obviously,
get assists, but he's
but it's still the thread of the team.
obviously
True.
you guys don't follow like Atlanta, but
Right.
but obviously I do. But anyways, I just am curious of what you guys think about the offseason moves kind of they've made. Obviously, some key pieces have left, like Leandro, Darlington, Julian, who I think was very underrated.
I don't know how
by
he
a
could
lot
be
of people.
underrated.
Maybe
but-
not.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
he
by
wasn't so
salary, but
underrated.
that
I
was
think
it.
a lot of people understood his value, but I just want to see what you guys thought, like how they're going to be next year. Basically,
Who do they-
are they going to be
who
that
do they
same
pick up?
powerhouse team though?
Who did they pick up?
They picked up Adam
center
John
back
from
Yeah, I saw they
from
picked up Adam John. Okay.
Phoenix. They had who's the guy from Salt Lake?
Brooks Lennon.
Brooks Lennon.
Yeah.
Yep. And then who
Any
else?
offensive pieces? I know Adam's a striker, but he's not going to start.
No,
He's
yeah.
going to be the
Offhead.
backup to Joseph.
I know they got rid of a lot. I mean, they got rid of
That's what I'm
every single
saying.
left back.
Well, the committing to whoever, if it's DeBoer making the decision, they're committing to him. So,
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
Well, I mean, they
it's-
still have Barco, right? They still have Barco.
Still have
and
Barco. They still
and
have Pity. They still have
Pity. So, I mean, they're basically depending on those
Joseph.
guys to create
Tito,
for Joseph.
Villalba. They still have.
I don't think they're
I don't
going to
know,
be
so.
as good.
I
mean,
I don't think they will either.
I still think they'll
realistically.
be, one of the best teams in the East, but I don't think they'll be as good. I don't
Well,
think
they still have
Joseph's
time
going
to
to be
make
able
moves.
to score 30 goals. Yeah, maybe they'll make some other moves, but Joseph's always going to get his goals because of the type of player that he is. He's all regardless of who's there, but to get 30 or close to 30 is
I
going
think
to be
he'll get
hard
over
without
20. I think for sure.
Yeah,
I think you could.
I think he
peg him
gets
for
over 20.
But I don't know, dude. Like a lot of these moves, will they pan out? Like maybe because it's happened in the past where teams have gotten rid of a lot of guys and suddenly they're still like a very good team. But I don't know. I think Darlington, goes a long way in possession, and then Julian obviously in the final third, like always, and I mean most of the time when I say always, making the right crosses.
Yeah.
And Joseph having a very good connection with him. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. I think I don't think they're going to be as good, but I think they'll be right there in the East again in terms of one of the best teams.
I also wanted to bring this up because I feel like I want Nino to pull up like an actual stat to see if this is like true, but I want to see like a correlation to teams making the playoffs to being a team that is very good at getting foreigners green cards. I'm serious because the fact that like, Eric,
you're not going to pull some
Franco
Trump nonsense and say, like, they're taking our jobs, are you?
That's fine. I'm just curious to know, like, if there's a correlation between how good a team is, because having an international spot is huge, and you basically get rid of it out of thin air, and then you have these like pieces that you can then trade away and sell off, and then you can just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. It's such a big thing that goes overlooked, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nino, get on it. But yeah, dude, going back to like goal scorers, I thought you were going to ask Carlos or Chicharito. Like, who do you think between those two is going to score more? Carlos?
That's very tough, but I'm gonna say Carlos. Still.
I think it's tough too.
I'm curious to see how the Galaxy are going to play without Zlatan, because I think Guillermo's
I think they'll be better.
GBS?
Well, I think I think they'll be better too. They'll be more of a team. But I'm curious if he's going to actually inflict his style, because they didn't really have a style. The style was cross it, and hopefully that.
Right. I think they're going to be a much better team. I don't think they're going to get that many more points than they had last year, because somehow they won like a ton of games, especially in the beginning. I think they're gonna be maybe a top, 3 or 4 team in the West. I don't think they're gonna be like a top 2.
Five.
But I think they're gonna be much more dangerous in the playoffs. I think they're gonna be a better team. I think Chicharito will score 20 plus goals. I think he's gonna work hard. They're gonna be better defensively. I think they'll be a better team than they were last year.
Yeah, I agree. 20 plus goals though. Should we make an over under?
Yeah,
20 plus. That's.
I would say if you would go into the season with how many goals Chicharito score, I would say the over-under's got to be like, what, 22, 21?
I take the over.
You would take the over?
Yeah. I think he'll score around 25. But
wow,
to be
I'm
safe,
not sure where I
over
stand.
20.
A lot of goals.
That's a lot of goals.
I can see him score
he's
more than
taking
25.
the PKs. You give him
I think he'll take the
seven
PKs.
PK goals a year.
I think he'll
maybe.
take the pens. Yeah, I think that team is gonna be better than last year. They might not score, like, I don't even know if they scored a ton of goals last year. I assume just because Ibra scored so many, but I think they're gonna be a better team. They're gonna be able to like keep more possession, dominate more, a little bit of the game. Last year I felt like they usually got dominated, but they just
played the LAFC.
yeah, they went crazy against LAFC every time, but yeah, I think they're going to be a better team, and I think he's a good goal scorer. There's similarities to like Joseph. All he wants to do is score. He's going to be around the box. He's going to get on the end of things. I think he'll take pens, so he'll score like that. Galaxy always is a team that seems to attack more than defend, so I think they'll score some goals, and he's going to get, I think, close to 25.
He's like a mix of like Joseph and Wando, just like getting on the end of things.
I can see that a little bit.
Scrappy goal scorer. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how LAFC look this year too. They've made some moves.
Did they lose any key pieces? I mean, obviously lost the keeper, but
not really. I thought Diego was going to leave, Diego Rossi, but he's still there. I'd heard rumors that he was going to get sold to Europe, but he's still there. I mean, he's with the national team, the 23s right now, I think.
I saw he scored a goal against Venezuela, was it?
I think he's with the 23s, right? The Olympic qualifying.
Yeah.
Who's their 9? Is it still Dio?
Yeah, Dio's there. They have Carlos, Dio, Rodriguez, and Diego. They signed. Who did they sign? They got rid of Zelaya. They signed, I think, a young number 9.
Oh, did they?
From
if they can get
USL,
that position
maybe.
sorted out.
But I thought they signed somebody else. Did they not sign another striker or no? Maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have I might look at my phone.
I know BWP was training with them.
Okay. Well, Dio I think's pretty good, but I think if they can figure out productivity wise from the 9 position,
why?
That's what they were missing.
You have another guy that scores 34 goals a year. You don't need.
Yeah, but the 9, but the 9 wasn't. For me, it just wasn't. I don't know. When I played LFC, if it was worrying about Carlos, and I think Rodriguez was coming in eventually, and all those, but like Carlos was the guy. And
you worry about Carlos and the wingers a little bit, but that point guy is like kind of secondary.
His role was it's just so much different. Knowing
and
that
it would be regardless of how good Carlos is, and he is good, it'd be tough, really tough for him to get those kind of numbers again. I mean, if he gets those kind of numbers again, he's the best player to ever play in MLS. Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's like. What did he do? He
34 goals,
and like close to 20 assists, right?
Yeah,
I don't know,
17,
something like that.
I think.
So I mean, 50 plus goals and assists. If he can do something like that again, that'd be ridiculous. But if he doesn't, then you're right. You're gonna have to get goals from other places. Diego always gets goals. I don't know if he's sticking around. I would assume even if he doesn't, Rodriguez plays and he gets some goals, and Dio's gonna get goals. But I get what you're saying. Like Dio gets his goals, but it's also they come in bunches. They came in bunches the first year too, where he came in and he scored like in his first like 9 games, and then there was like a lull, and sometimes he gets injured as well. He has like muscle injury sometimes.
Bradley Wright Phillips is another guy that doesn't have a team. I don't know what his plans are, but
so obviously he was training there. Sal.
You said he was training there.
He's training with LAFC. I don't know if he's still there, but I know he was training with them.
That,
I'm assuming he's still there. So maybe they signed him.
So vintage Bradley Wright for me is the striker that you want because obviously Joseph is great and all these things, but you get strikers that score 15 goals a year.
There.
Right, but you score 15 goals a year. 3 of them are hat tricks, and you only scored in 9 games, kind of thing. And it's like you need your guys to score 14, 15, 16 games, and get 20 goals. Yeah. It's just the regularity it's just different. And so you see some of these guys.
And the other thing with BWP is if he does sign with LAFC, I thought he's been a really good player, but since he's been relegated to the bench, when he comes on, he's not good. I don't know if he was injured or maybe like I know it's harder coming off the bench, especially for a striker. but I think he's fantastic.
He thrives off. Yeah, he thrives off when like things are going well, when he's scoring, when
for sure. But I think he also does. If he's getting he's not at least he didn't show it. He didn't seem like a guy that you bring him off the bench and he's going to get you something late in a game. He's a guy that you play for 90 minutes, you're going to get something out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, he gets
I don't know how it's going to work
because he just kind of fell off a cliff pretty quickly, and you could tell after his injury, like it probably is a correlation there for me. So for me, he gets the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, for sure.
He can't go from 2018 having like a great year, 2019 being injured,
doing pretty good.
Yeah, and he was still fine. It's just
right.
Red Bull's philosophy too. Like, I mean, they always want to go younger. They always, they're always kind of trying to build young players and develop them. So, they're also quick to kind of write off an older guy. So he's still got plenty left in the tank, if you ask me.
Good. I hope I've always liked him as a person and as a player, so I hope he goes somewhere and does well.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Anything from Minnesota preseason? Who'd you guys add?
We've had up to date Tyler Miller, obviously.
So your goalie left? Yeah.
Yeah. He, whatever happened there.
He wanted DP money.
I saw.
Right?
I actually
that's
saw
what they said. Right?
I recently saw a clip of Vito Mannone because Josie Altidore tweeted about like a game that they beat. Who was it that they beat? Was it Man U? Yeah, Man U, because Chicharito scored in it. So they were playing them. I don't know if it was the FA Cup or like the Carling Cup or whatever it is, the other cup, and they scored. Like De Gea made a big mistake, and then Chicharito scored with like a second left, and it went to penalty kicks, and Mannone saved like the game-winning save or whatever to send them into the next round. So I just thought about you when I saw that.
As you said, Josie, I'm thinking Josie. Remember when I asked
Josie
Justin Morrow who's more reckless, a Josie outburst or a Mavinga challenge?
Yeah,
and Justin said
Josie's having
outburst.
some big Twitter jumps on.
Josie's prayers up. Pray for the man.
I love that though. I love the honesty, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. A little bit of personality. It's what we need, right?
I have a hard time being honest on Twitter. Like I usually reserve my opinion to who I want
to the podcast
to intend it, but to the whole public. I mean, Josie goes for it, and I hear I don't know if like it's also rumors, but they're saying that now Toronto's trying to move him because he was talking bad about their process with Michael.
Well, if they are, I mean, it was coming at some point. You know what I mean? You can't call out your organizations so many times.
Yeah, he's done it before, so
I mean,
he'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think he's sweating.
No, and he shouldn't be. What other stuff? There's been so much stuff in this offseason, dude.
Should I just say the name? I'll just say the name Tinnerholm, but we don't have to talk about him just so that he's on every podcast that we talk about.
God, this is getting dumb now.
Yeah.
It is.
No, but so the union taking our idea in our podcast.
What? How does it go?
Play by players.
Copycat
play by play
is the
players.
biggest. No, but how do you, what's the line where if someone imitates you or copies you, it's the biggest sort
flattery, right?
Exactly, it's the biggest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So there you go, Bobby Boswell. Good luck doing that on your own, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Let us know if you need any tips.
But Bobby's always been, a funny guy and a witty guy.
Bobby is funny.
It's PG rated. It's got to be.
Yeah, I know.
If Bobby does a 5 questions and you can plead the 5th once, then we're gonna have to get a lawyer. Bullying by Bobby. That's gonna be what it's called.
That would be great. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should let you guys ask me 5 questions, just as a because I had to go on the Cooligans. And
we should do 1 question each. I get to ask one of you, you get to ask one of me, and the other one gets to ask the other guy.
No,
go ahead. That'd be too scary.
But if you could plead the 5th, then there's no point if you can only ask 1 question.
What else? Super Bowl? Anything about the Super Bowl? No.
Super Bowl. Our hometown Chiefs. Not like they're not my team, although. That's cool if they win, I guess, for the city of Kansas City. But I'm a huge Ravens fan, as you guys know. So that was another one, man. I thought maybe, NFL was going to get me through this offseason. The one thing that was going for me was Lamar.
Oh, yeah.
And man, dude.
They crushed your soul.
They just depressed me even more in that game.
They missed out on an opportunity for sure.
The only thing I'll say about the Super Bowl is thank God the Titans are not in the Super Bowl. No offense to the Titans. I
thought they might beat the Chiefs, dude. I was worried for the Chiefs because
for sure.
I was even telling people here, I was like, if they get out to a lead, and they did.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. But the only thing was that they were able to stop Derrick Henry. The Ravens weren't able to stop Derrick Henry. So,
just from an entertainment factor, I don't want to watch the Titans in the Super Bowl. I just did not want to. No offense to them. Derrick Henry's a great player. I mean, they've got a lot of good players on that team, but there was nothing that would have appealed me to watch as a neutral fan to a Titan.
You don't want to see Ryan.
Did you guys see the line on that game? I was actually kind of shocked. Kansas City's favored, yeah.
Yeah, by 1.5 or something?
Yeah, I honestly, I would have thought like by 3.5, 49ers or something.
I figured the Chiefs were going to be favored because I saw that once the Ravens lost, the Chiefs were the favorite to win the Super Bowl. So I figured if they got to the finals, they would be the favorite over the Niners. But I know, man. I like the Niners. I think that the reason why they're favored is because if they fall behind, they can see Mahomes just coming out and winning the game like he has 2 weeks in a row now. Yeah. Whereas if the Niners drop behind, it could maybe be a little bit of a problem because it takes away maybe a little bit of their run game. I think the Niners are a better team, though. I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, dude, Garoppolo had 8 pass attempts last game. That's pretty crazy.
I think 1 in the second half.
That's crazy.
Did you see that reporter basically said that like a strategy for the Niners should be just to get Mahomes hurt? Like they should just take him out and then they'll win.
So dumb.
I mean, that's always a strategy. But
what they should do is just keep rushing him every time, though.
Yeah.
Just maybe even, I mean, they don't need to blitz because they can, that 4 defensive linemen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think 49ers have a bit of an edge. I liked the Chiefs growing up, so I'd like to see them win, but I don't know. I just
all right,
feel like
let's hear your guess then on the game, and we'll see who was
I think
the wrongest.
I think the 49ers are going to win, unfortunately, to the fans of Kansas City. But I think the 49ers are going to win, I would say, like, I'll go with, like, 28-24.
All right, Ike?
You know who I'm going with. The Chiefs, man. They're in my heart. We're going to go Chiefs by... That's dumb. The 49ers will probably win, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs by...
The Chiefs are favored, dude.
Yeah, they're favored.
Yeah, but there's just so much.
Come on, give me a score.
I love that this
7.
game is... I love that this game is
Chiefs by
easy.
7?
Yeah, I just want to see an entertaining game and give me the Chiefs winning. I'll take it.
I actually think it's going to be a higher scoring game. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. I'm going to say Niners 35 to Chiefs 27.
I can
really
see
went
that.
for it.
Yeah. 8-point game, still 1 possession. It's going to go down to the wire where Mahomes is trying to 1 minute and 15 seconds to score a touchdown.
Yeah,
and
that's what I think
conversion.
too.
He'll throw a pick.
And Nick Bosa is going to do a strip sack or something.
Oh man, if I was yelling at the TV so hard when I saw Mahomes get that touchdown on the Titans where he ran it, I was like, how the hell did Lamar not do that crap? What the hell's going on there?
Well, Lamar's receivers were too busy dropping all of his passes. So,
oh my god, dude!
The Ravens needed Mike Boone as their running back.
Oh yeah, when I won in fantasy football in the craziest history.
Oh man!
I changed.
All
my
right,
team
we got anything else?
process.
We've delved into football now, American football. So
we can
must
always
not have
stick
much.
to MLS if we really want to. We can go by team after team, but we'll let it be. There's no reason for us to put our reputations on the line.
Now that Benny and I are no longer currently employed by the MLS, how's the union talks going? Are you guys gonna start on time or what?
Just so sorry, as you said, Benny unemployment. So I'm getting back to the story from preseason 2015 or 16. I'm not sure. And Tim Melia walks into the room. We're watching a Premier League game, Benny and I. And Tim and I are talking about something. I don't even know what but the Premier League. And Benny looks at us and goes,
It's called the Prem,
guys,
bro. It's called the Prem in England.
Whatever, man. Who cares? EPL, BPL, whatever.
Ike, center your face on the camera. I always see half your face. Thank you.
Well, good
I want
thing
to
this
see
is
your
just
beautiful
for
face, bro.
good thing this is just for audio. Anyways, Benny looks at
Your
us and
background's
goes,
still blurry, Sal.
"Whatever, man." Benny looks at us and goes, "You guys wouldn't be the worst players in the Prem." And Tim and I were so disrespected by this. So now that Benny's unemployed, we've been ripping him the last couple weeks.
That was not meant to be a jab.
It was.
It
was.
was. I was saying. I was saying you guys could play in the Prem easily. Is what I was saying, and you guys tried to turn it into something negative.
We wouldn't. No. You made it negative by saying that we wouldn't be the worst players in the Prem.
Which means you could play in the Prem. Yeah, no, not probably. I was telling you, you could definitely play in the Prem because I played there, and there's plenty of bad players, especially on my Darby County team.
So again,
so I was saying
we're good.
You would not be the worst players in the Prem.
You know, Benny, that's a compliment right there. That's like a good compliment.
Oh, it's so good. And so we're like, oh, can't believe that we've outlasted you, Benny, after you said that we sucked as soccer players.
Yeah, man.
So, Benny, you've been doing a lot of commentating, right? I mean, you commentated throughout the offseason, right? Or just the MLS Cup?
No, I did.
Or the playoffs.
There's been no soccer, dude. There's nothing to commentate. What are you talking about?
He did the playoffs in the world's worst suit.
I did the Eastern Conference Final as a studio analyst for FS1.
Okay. You're welcome for the podcast to kind of bumping that for you.
Oh, the podcast for sure did, actually. I think they actually mentioned that they had heard the podcast and liked it. And I think they also heard a few interviews that I'd done maybe even because of the podcast. So, yeah, do the podcast.
Yeah, see?
But why'd you go on there wearing that suit that you had?
Come on, dude. I've heard it's been 4 months.
No,
Can
but
we let it die?
No, that suit can never die.
Hey, the only thing
I actually don't even remember it, Ike. Was it
the only
one
thing
of the
that was
ones
wrong
you
with
wore
the
for the
suit
Benny
was that-
Salheiber show? Because then I can understand why you would be laughing.
The only thing that was wrong with the suit was that I couldn't find. You know my clothing. Like I don't buy anything, right? Yeah. I don't have anything. It was like, I got to wear a suit. Am I going to a wedding or something? Like I looked in my closet. I have barely anything.
Bar mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah. And I couldn't find a just a t-shirt, like a t-shirt, a dress shirt that matched well with the suit. If I had worn like a white shirt or like a light shirt, it would have looked better. But it was like a dark shirt on a dark suit, so it just looked not good.
They don't have like stylists there that are like, hey, a suit.
Not if you're on a one-time basis, you know. They're like, oh, look at this clown.
You had
I'll be better off next time.
Draft class suit pants on too, just all around bad.
I wore that so that people wouldn't listen to so much that I was saying.
Benny, worst case scenario, no team wants to sign you. Is that a career path you would want to go down?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a possible career path. I wouldn't say that it's the definite one. I mean, I'm staying within soccer for sure. You know, I love it. I've talked to you guys about it, but what it exactly is going to be, I don't know. I think sometimes it's just about opportunity, but I'll definitely delve into a few different things and see where it pans out.
Nice. And Ike, you're just trying to win Defender of the Year again in your prime. Cool. That sounds good.
Ike just got a new contract last year. He's looking for a new one this year.
He always feels underappreciated.
On that note, I'm out. That was a good one. I appreciate that one.
All right, boys. So anyways, we are BSI the podcast. Thanks for showing up for our bonus episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will try and have guests lined up towards the beginning of the season, end of preseason, so in about another month or so. And just for everybody to know, the Twitter feed, the Instagram, the handles, all that stuff is now at BSI the podcast. The email stays the same because it's too difficult to change that. So Ike does not have an initial on the email. It's still, what was it? Is it Benny Sal the podcast, or I honestly can't remember.
It's Benny Sal the podcast at gmail.com.
Benny Sal the podcast at gmail.com.
Podcast, isn't it? Something.
No, I think it's the podcast.
It is.
Okay.
Anyways, we'll get that information to you guys out there. But one thing that you guys can try and email us on Benny Sal, the podcast at Gmail, is what kind of guests? What guests? Not what kind. What guests exactly do you guys want to see on there? We'll try and get as many of those on there. And obviously we have some on the top of our heads as well that we know will be good guests. So we'll have those lined up for you guys in season 2, starting in about a month.
Season 2, the last and final season.
Ike, don't scare these people.
No, let's just be
We're
real.
doing
We
this
just call-
forever. We're doing it forever, okay?
We're calling a
Sequels are
spade a
never
spade.
as good as... Dude,
Yeah.
sequels are
We
never
are-
as good as the original. We should have stopped at season 1, boys.
Yeah, we're inevitably going to trend down, but let's go out with the bang. Like, if one of us doesn't lose our jobs because of the podcast, we didn't do a good job.
Well, I already have lost my job. So.
We're 1 for 1.
Oh, man. All right, boys. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody listening in, and we'll see you in another month. Thanks.
Peace out, guys.